What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're focusing on Warren Gatland, the head coach of the Chiefs, who unfortunately is breaking records, but not for the positive reasons. The Chiefs this past weekend lost to the Blues, making it 7 consecutive losses. They are solidly at the bottom of the log of the new version of Super Rugby over in New Zealand. It's not been a great few weeks for Warren Gatland and his men, as they just cannot find the way to win. And the question that is being asked by many people around the world, and definitely fans across the world, is the time up for Warren Gatland? Does he have enough time to transform this team? Should they give him more time? Or is time indeed up for Warren Gatland? Now, Gatland in 2019 had probably one of his best coaching years. He took his team to a record win, which was Wales. They won the Grand Slam Six Nations. He took Wales to world number 1 for the first time in so many years for Wales rugby. He did a lot of good. Obviously, the longest reigning coach for Wales. He's coached the British and Irish Lions for the longest time as well. He's done remarkable things. But catch the note there. It's a lot of the good things are happening over in the north. Is his coaching tactic of what worked for him over for Wales and maybe British and Irish Lions, is that coming over into the south and just not gelling with the players? I mean, Stuart Barnes had mentioned and said if Damian McKenzie could be freed enough to play his own type of game, the logs would look a little bit better. Is he just not gelling well enough with these players, that they're not given the freedom to do what they want? Because if we look at the squad that the Chiefs have, there's quality. I mean, you got the All Black captain, you got Damian McKenzie, who's world class. And is he being held back a bit, not allowed to do what he's famously known for doing? And that's the question I think everyone's asking. Does he need to, which I think he really does, completely change his coaching tactics in order to try and transform the Chiefs into a different rugby playing game so that they can start picking up wins? Now look, when the Chiefs started in the original Super Rugby campaign, they did pick up a few wins. But then, unfortunately, people started to work them out and they went on to the losing streak. And now they really need to try and find a way to come back. They've still got a while to go because the tournament is a lot smaller than a proper Super Rugby campaign. He's still got a while to go to keep that ultimate record for a New Zealand team having so many consecutive losses. So he's still good there. But he needs to do something. He needs to pick up and get that all-important win. Otherwise, he's definitely going to get sacked. Now, Warren Gatland is a phenomenal coach, and I rate him very highly. And I know he hasn't gelled well for the Chiefs, but I do feel he can adapt and get to the right stage with a team like the Chiefs. There was a lot of talk at the start. Could he be the next All Black coach? Now, I think with people watching him coaching the Chiefs, they probably do not want him even near the All Blacks right now. But with his coaching staff and the people around him, surely these guys can work out strategies and plans in order to try and change the game of rugby for the Chiefs. Now look, they've not been down and out. They started off strong last week where they got 24-0 ahead, but then they lost it. Yes, at the end of the games, 2 controversial calls for this past week against the Blues maybe, and the previous week, but they still aren't able to go that extra mile. It's like they lose all hope in that second half, and those last important minutes where New Zealand rugby are probably in fact the strongest team ever in the last 20 minutes of any form of game, be it provincial, be it international. You've got to know the All Blacks are good finishers and their comeback game is strong. Whereas if we look at what the Chiefs are doing, it's completely the opposite. And they've just not been able to produce those good results at the end. They're falling under pressure. It's almost like they are choking. And that is not the New Zealand rugby way. If you look at the Chiefs, the Crusaders taking on the Hurricanes, that game was intense until the end. You might have the Hurricanes take the lead or the Crusaders take the lead, but no matter what New Zealand team is there, they are known to come back at the end, and we're just not seeing that from the Chiefs. So for me, what's needed is a complete change of structure, game plans within the players. And maybe Gatlin's experienced enough. I mean, he's been in situations with Wales where they haven't been good, but he's pulled them out and transformed a team into a number one ranking team in the world, into a team that's won the Grand Slam Six Nations, into a team that's reached semi-finals of a Rugby World Cup, a team that's beaten, that's won and drawn a Lions series against a team like the All Blacks, won in Australia. I mean, he's done remarkable things and he's very highly respected, but he needs to change his game plan in order to improve the Chiefs rugby. And if he doesn't, he's going to be sacked. If this was football, and we're looking at Man United or Manchester City or Chelsea on a 7-match consecutive game loss, we would definitely be looking at getting the man sacked. If it was an international team like the All Blacks or South Africa, not South Africa because Alistair Coetzee didn't do much for us either, but these guys get sacked because they're not producing the goods and the quality of what we know a team like the Chiefs can produce. You know, if we look at the Blues, they've always had the tagline of the All Black, the New Zealand's weakest team, and they were like that for quite some time. But they always picked up that important win. They always had their moments where they're still a threat to any other team that's not New Zealand. Whereas the Chiefs, I know it's an all Black or all New Zealand team contest, and it's a lot tougher. But when you see the Chiefs playing a team like the Blues or the Highlanders, you'd expect a win every now and then. And I know the Blues are playing great rugby at the moment and they're on a good winning streak. But there are also moments where they've allowed other teams to come back. And the fact that the Chiefs just aren't able to capitalize and get any form of result, especially when you're 24-0 ahead and you can't go that extra mile to pick up that win. There's definitely question marks that need to be asked, and the players need to ask it within. Gatlin and his team need to work out a strategy and how to work together, because we know the quality in Warren Gatland. And if I have to quote Eddie Jones, he says, in a different game in the Southern Hemisphere, it will take some time to learn, which is true. He says the one thing we know about Warren Gatland is that he's a winner, and I'm sure they'll turn around quickly. He started off saying he's been a great coach in the Northern Hemisphere, and maybe he's gone back. He's still employing the Northern Hemisphere techniques. That needs to change. It needs to be all South, so he can get this team back to winning ways. Otherwise, he's going to get sacked, and that's the last thing I want to see as a fan of New Zealand rugby, and as a fan and a person with huge respect for Warren Gatland. So I hope he bounces back. Let me know your thoughts, especially you Chiefs fans. And I know there are quite a few of you there. And also fans of just New Zealand rugby in general who support other teams. What should happen? Should Warren Gatland be fired? Or should they give him a chance to adapt to the South a little bit more? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you real soon for another one. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.